Alright, so here's a video showing how you can solo two-phase Gahlran from the Duality Dungeon using this Arcstrider build with Star Eater scales and Legend of Acrius. I thought it would be a lot of fun to see if I could even two-phase Gahlran because I've never done it before. And I figured what better way to do it than using Arcstrider with Gathering Storm, Feast of Light ×4, and Legend of Acrius, which this season is pretty much the best heavy weapon for damage for close quarter combat. So it is essentially taking the place of Lament for melee-based dungeon bosses, which is refreshing. And since we're on the Arc subclass, we can capitalize on the seasonal artifact. So using Thunderous Retort, well, I'm using all of the Arc artifact mods, but Thunderous Retort is the big one because that is going to increase your super damage even further by another 30% or so, or maybe even more. I'm not sure what the numbers are. Also, Electric Armor is going to give us some survivability with damage resistance while amplified. And other than that, I'm just relying on the Arcstrider subclass to survive and do damage. So Combination Blow is going to be our means of healing because damage resistance alone isn't really enough to survive most dungeon encounters. You need some way to heal. So I chose just to capitalize on Combination Blow, and if you play into it correctly and you get kills from your melee, you're going to heal on every kill. So yeah, I'll go over the build, and then when I get to the first damage phase, I'll kind of pause and go over that, because that's pretty important. So a little bit more about Legend of Acrius. This is an old raid weapon, which you can now buy from the exotic kiosk, and I did so at the beginning of the season because I didn't have it. But I did happen to have a lot of spoils saved up, so when I found out it was going to be good this season, I farmed up enough spoils to max out my spoils at 240, and I made that big purchase. And then after that, I had to wait until about 30 nightfalls later for the catalyst to drop, which is kind of unfortunate because it's pure RNG as far as when you get the catalyst, but you do need the catalyst to be effective with it. So hopefully if you don't already have the catalyst, hopefully you can get it sooner than I did. As soon as I got it 2-3 days ago, I went straight into the Breakneck Lightfall campaign mission, first checkpoint. It's a free rally banner, and I farmed the catalyst there and got it done in 20 minutes. But basically what the catalyst does is it gives you 50% more damage from Trench Barrel. So one punch and then 3 shots at 50% more damage. Then you punch again and you do another 50% damage for 3 shots. So you just keep that punch shoot loop going. With the catalyst, you also get from Trench Barrel, you get more reload speed and better handling. Also, the catalyst gives you more reserves and it gives you a bigger magazine, which is like critical. If you plan on doing this in 2 phases, then you're definitely going to need the catalyst because it ups your damage and your DPS big time. And then we'll be enhancing the weapon even further by using, obviously, triple arc weapon surge. So as long as we have armor charge for the entire fight against Gahlran, then we're always going to have 22% more damage on top of all that. And I'm also using Spark of Frequency so that when I score a melee hit against Gahlran, I'm going to have maximum reload speed on Acrius. And this is a fragment that I don't normally use, but I figured since shotguns are slow to reload and I'm going to need to reload constantly, I figured I may as well use it, and you can see from the opening clip like how fast I was able to reload Acrius. So definitely give it a shot. I mean, you do get more reload speed just from like flow state and being amplified. And I'm even using Arc Loader as a mod on my arm piece, so I may have gone a bit overkill with reload speed, but yeah, I would say give frequency a shot. It's definitely, I think it's effective, and I definitely had max reload speed. So this is the, okay, so now I'm about to do damage versus Gahlran. So I'm trying to get out of the shade room as quick as possible. Even if it means backing up to the door, you can shoot them because they're going to chase you. Snipe these 2 backpack balls just so that I can quickly get to Gahlran. As soon as he's stationary, I'll get a jolting grenade on him. Punch to prop trench barrel, 3 shots, then punch again. And then I can go 3 shots, and then I'm going to have to reload. So I'm going to punch to... look how fast that reload is. Then Gathering Storm, you want to do it when you know you're going to hit him, because if you don't stick him with Gathering Storm, you're not going to two-phase, most likely. You have a whole minute for this damage phase, which means that you're safe to launch your Gathering Storm like halfway through the fight. You'll be fine. And then I get another grenade on him after Gathering Storm is done, so that I can basically get Jolt on him the entire time. Right, so I mean, my Lethal Current punch is going to jolt, the Pulse Grenade is going to jolt, and Gathering Storm is jolting. And then once I burn through all of my Acrius ammo, then I can switch to a rapid fire fusion rifle, like Iterative Loop, to do basically good damage when I run out of Acrius, because rapid fire frame fusion rifles are pretty much the highest special ammo weapon DPS option that there is. It is also the most practical weapon I find to use versus the shades. You could use a shotgun, you know, like with 1-2 punch. It's very effective on Arcstrider. I just prefer fusion rifles because it has more range than a shotgun, and the DPS is very good. So yeah, and Iterative Loop also has Volt Shot, so I can apply Jolt. And it capitalizes on my Arc Weapon Surge mods for 22% more damage. So basically, for every damage phase that I'm going to do against Gahlran, I make sure that before I enter that last shade room and hit the bell, I make sure that I'm full on fusion rifle ammo, because I'm going to have to burn through about 3/4 of my fusion rifle ammo to kill all the shades. And then I want like at least 4 or 5 shots left to shoot Gahlran after I've run out of Acrius ammo. And as you can see from that first damage phase, I got him below half, so it worked. So as far as the aspects and fragments that I'm using, flow state is going to give me flow state basically amplifies your amplified, to put it simply. You get more damage resistance while you're dodging, which you're going to be doing frequently. You're going to get more dodge energy if you do lose your dodge, and you're going to get better reload speed. Then Lethal Current is a must, because that's gonna basically enable the whole like Arcstrider punchy punch gameplay loop. Okay, so you dodge, you get Lethal Current procced, and then you get lunge range, like Synthocept style lunge range. You jolt whatever you hit, you blind whatever is jolted, and you create an aftershock that is like a pulse grenade. Fragments, like I said, Spark of Frequency to max out the reload speed, Feedback to hit harder when I'm hit, Spark of Shock for jolt on my grenades, and then I'm using Spark of Ions, but I would honestly maybe switch that out for resistance, because you get one measly ionic trace like every 10 seconds or so. Like, it has a cooldown on it, so it's not that great. Then for the ability, like for the gameplay loop, obviously you want to start off by dodging, and then you you've procced Lethal Current, so then you can use your melee. Whatever you kill with your melee outright is going to heal you and replenish your dodge, which means that you can then dodge again with Gambler's Dodge to get your melee back. So you can see this loop where you constantly dodge, melee, and those abilities are just regenerating off of each other automatically. So it's extremely powerful. Also with Lethal Current, like you're going to do that jolt, you're going to blind, you get the aftershock. Also, because you just hit something with your melee, you've procced Trench Barrel on Acrius, so when you're doing your Gahlran damage, you've now got 50% more damage on your shotgun. Whatever you kill from the jolt, you get amplified. You've procced Spark of Frequency for max reload speed. You've procced Flow State from being amplified, which means that you have more damage resistance and all that. And then if you so choose, you can if you keep this loop going frequently enough, you can stack Combination Blow up to ×3, which means that you're going to have like Roaring Flames ×3 on Bonk Titan. You're going to have more melee damage, which means that you're more likely to kill enemies outright with your melee, even orange bars, which means that you're going to get your dodge and your healing on every kill. Because if you hit something with your melee, and although you may jolt them and blind them and create an aftershock that kills them, if you don't kill them from the melee specifically, you may notice that you didn't get your dodge back. That's because it didn't count as the melee getting the kill, which means that you didn't heal, you didn't get your dodge back, and so your gameplay loop is now interrupted. So it's important to know that if that happens, just keep trying to hit stuff with your melee until you see your dodge come back, and then you can go straight back into the dodge punch loop. So weapons I'm using here, sniper rifle and a fusion rifle. The sniper rifle is going to let me one-shot the bell and the bell keeper's backpacks. And the fusion rifle is going to let me one-shot basically all of the shades. Like once you kill that first shade and you get that buff, it's one-shotting all the rest of the shades. And it's going to jolt as well because of Volt Shot. And double special ammo means that I'm going to have more heavy ammo. So if you're not too sure how to manage 2 special weapons and a heavy, basically when you have your heavy out and you kill something, even with your punch, like an orange bar, you're going to get special ammo. When you have your special out, you're going to get heavy ammo drops. So basically you just got to make sure you have the right weapon out when you kill certain things so that you get the right ammo drops. It's pretty straightforward. So like the bell keepers are always a source of special ammo if you just have Acrius out when you go to punch them. Stats I'm using: 100 resilience, 100 mobility, 100 discipline, with font of focus of course, so as long as I have armor charge I always have 100 discipline. Bomber just to help me get my grenade back a little bit faster when I dodge. And then for orb production I'm using Arc Siphon and Heavy-Handed, which is kind of a no-brainer because you're always punching, so whatever you kill with your melee you're going to get an Orb of Power. And to modify our armor charge so that we can ensure that we have enough for damage, I'm using Charged Up. So I can hold 4 stacks of armor charge with time dilation for 15 seconds per armor charge, so that's a total of 60 seconds, which is roughly the length of the fight against Gahlran. And then Powerful Attraction, just so that it makes it easy to get orbs, because I'm always dodging because of the build. It means that I'm always picking up orbs. I don't have to like concentrate on where the orb is to go pick it up. I just dodge in the general vicinity of an orb and I automatically get it. Elemental Charge is not that great for this because you're not producing very many ionic traces. And it takes up a spot on your legs, and I need that spot on my legs for triple arc weapon surge. And then I'm also using heavy ammo finder, obviously, to get more heavy. Arc loader for reload speed, arc targeting, and arc unflinching. I figured why not, even though it's a shotgun, maybe it'll be easier to stay on target and land more pellets, land more shots, and then just be able to do more damage with Acrius. But yeah, so that's pretty much the build. If there's anything that you think I left out, you'll have to let me know in the comments, but I was pretty happy to get this solo 2-phase. Remember, because I was committed to 2 phases, I didn't bother killing the bell keepers on my way out, except I did forget at first, and I kind of went to go aim at them, and then I remembered, oh wait, I don't need to kill them. So I could have saved myself an extra second or 2 by not hesitating there. But still managed to get it done with 7 seconds. I didn't see how much was left on the clock, but anyways, hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment, sub to the channel, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.